the time the attendance figures come in for the tournament, they'll double what they had in Finland last year.
The biggest crowd in Finland was for the game between Finland and Canada with 8,000 in attendance. Loose puck in the Soviet zone. Finally, it's picked up by Davidov. He lost it. Murphy has it for Canada. Murphy still controlling it to the side of the goal, and Duras was tied up. Greenlaw let a backhand go wide. Murphy in the corner tried to play it back to the point. It hit the boards and did not come all the way back. Now the Soviets work along the boards. They bring it in across the line. Here's the shot, and that was deflected by Billington. On the right side for Duras. Duras over on the left side to Greenlaw. Greenlaw with the shot, and that is deflected by Beloshakin up into the crowd and out of play.
This is the time of the hockey game where somebody has to emerge as a leader, as a star. Beloshakin has lots of experience.
Well, we'll see the performance of that Canadian men's team on Sports Weekend on Saturday afternoon from Schladming, Austria, immediately following our coverage of the final game in this World Junior Tournament involving Canada and Czechoslovakia. Fedotov gives it into the corner to Tatarinov. Long lead pass for Konstantinov. That almost looked as though it crossed two lines. It almost appeared he was offside, but there was no whistle. Kapenko out front. Meekin was tied up back to the line. A shot just wide by Tatarinov, and there's a Canadian player down once again and again. A long delay before Dag Olsen blows the whistle.
I think they're done. He was thinking that the Soviet players had control of the puck, and he was waiting for a Canadian to touch it, but once it was out over the blue line, it was no harm for anybody, but it's Selmar Odeline down. Now, he went into the boards with the Soviet player after a loose puck, and he sort of stopped funny. Now, he's had that bad knee, and I don't know if that is this problem right now or if that's when it happened, but he did not come out of the corner. Now, watch him stop and turn in an awkward position as they try to get to that puck. Look at his knees. Now, he bangs into the boards heavily. Now, I don't know if he's already hurt himself or what. He's gotten up now. He, too, may have winded himself when he went heavily into the boards backwards, Don. He's being helped off the ice. Appears to be all right.
Well, everyone anticipated that this would be a very physical hockey game, and indeed it has. And most people were correct in assuming as well that the Soviets would give as much as they would take.
Oh, absolutely. That was another part of the scouting report. Carl Friesen, the trainer from Saskatoon, having his hands full here in the third period.
Odeline missed 2.5 months of the season with the Regina Pats as a result of that knee injury. The puck kept in by Canada in front of the net, and Sandlak could not get his stick on it. He was tied up initially, and then when he finally touched it, it was deflected over the glass out of play.
Close checking in front of that Soviet goal. Every time the Canadians try to get a loose puck, somebody's on them immediately all the time. You know, Gump Worsley talked about the Red Army game in Montreal. He said it started at high speed, it ended at high speed. Now watch Sandlak try to get control of it before it's deflected. The defenseman stays right with him, Fedotov. This Red Army team here, too, Don, they haven't slowed down at all. They're keeping that speed up, as are the Canadians.
It's offside at the Soviet line. We'll have a face-off just outside the Soviet blue line with 14:20 remaining in this third period. You were commenting this morning on the curve on the blade of many of those Soviet sticks. Do you think there is a possibility Canada might call it late in the game?
Well, they're watching the Red Army play. A lot of their sticks were certainly over a half-inch. The rules here say in this tournament, nothing over a half-inch, very similar to the National Hockey League rules, but the coaching staff for the Canadian team were looking around. They especially looked at the goal stick of Beloshakin. They feel the blade itself is too wide. You're allowed 3.5 inches, and I think that's well over 3.5 inches.
Puck along the boards in the Soviet zone. Sandlak again steps into a Soviet player and sends Seamak flying. Now it's Corson breaking in on the right side. Corson taking it against the boards. The puck is loose, and Seamak has it for the Soviet Union. Dunikinov ahead to Heiderov, going in, he scores!
Big goal for the Soviet Union. There you see some emotion on the bench. This play deflects off, the puck deflects off somebody in that neutral zone, and in he goes on the breakaway. And Heiderov makes a good play. Now watch it come through the middle here as Karkner can't find the puck. First of all, it goes off of Cote. In comes Kaidarov. Now watch Billington. He's out, but he collapses early and goes down early. And Kaidarov stayed out way above Billington and put it up over top of him. Look how far out Kaidarov is here before he makes his play. He's a good 6 feet away from the goaltender Billington, who went down a little early, up over top, and he capped off a good play. And look at the emotion, the young Soviet player.
So it's 3-1, the Soviet Union leading. They have scored a goal in each period. Seamak and Nikonov drawing assists on that goal by Hyderov. And again, the smoke detector, or whatever it is, has gone off here in the Cops Coliseum. It was sounding to start the period, and the fans applauded when it was finally shut off then, and they applaud again.
The fourth goal for Hyderov. Now let's see what Terry Simpson does. Is he going to go down to 3 lines? Is he going to go down to 2 lines while his team is down 2 goals? We'll have to wait and see. But Hyderov played on a line with Seamak for 7 years in Ufa, part of the Soviet Union. He's a good goal scorer, and he certainly showed it on that last play as he made it look rather easy. A lucky break for him as that puck went off of Cote, and he was there and jumped on that opportunity.
Loose puck in the Soviet zone. Going into the corner after it is Mellanby. Mellanby for Robitaille. Robitaille out front. He tried to jam it at the side of the net. Gets it again. Back to the line. Over the line. Takes the shot. It goes wide. And Katarinov brings it out for the Soviets. He shovels it ahead to his defensive partner, Fedotov, and it's fired into the Canadian zone. 12:54 remaining in the third. The Soviets leading 3-1.
Now look at the Soviets here, not forechecking deep at all, backing out, trying to force the Canadians in the neutral zone. Not forechecking deep now that they have that 2-goal lead.
Well, this is the point in the hockey game where the Canadian team will have to be much more aggressive in that offensive zone, trying to force the Soviets off the puck and into making errors. Mellanby in the corner. He's bumped there. Robitaille follows up, centered it, nobody in position, and the Soviets quite content to hammer it down the ice. This will be an icing call with 12:21 remaining in the third. Well, Canada is in trouble as it attempts to defend its World Junior Championship here in the 1986 tournament at the Cops Coliseum in Hamilton.
Well, the pressure should now be on the shoulders of Beloshakin, the Soviet goalkeeper. Lots of experience, as we had mentioned. The Canadians are going to try and pour it on now. They're trailed by 2.
Centering pass, nobody in position, and the Soviets, Konstantinov, picks it up off the boards and dumps it down the ice. Sylvain Cote back into his own zone, trying to get it out of there. He's checked at the blue line by Kravchuk, and the Canadians are forced back into their own zone. Conroy, who was slowed down with a tremendous hit earlier, is back out there for the Canadian team. Now Viasmaikin in across the line. He slips to the fence, going in. Hold on when he scores. Beautiful move by Viasmaikin. And now you know why he is considered one of the outstanding under-20 players in the world.
He was supposed to be the pride of the new generation of hockey players before he fell into disfavor of drinking too much, to tell the truth. Here he shows why, Don. Sensational play, quick speed, quick feet. He makes the play. He held onto the puck. Actually, when he scored, he tried to put it up over top of Billington. He puts it underneath him, but that's certainly the crushing blow as far as Canada's hopes go. What a sensational play. A talented hockey player.
Number 16, Igor
Viasmaikin, unassisted tally, making it up 4-1 hockey game. And here's another look at it.
Just watch the speed, how he turns it on. He's got talent, immense talent. Look at the feet, how he balances his way through. Now he holds on to it. He knows where he is. Now he just tries to get it up over top. Got lucky, it went underneath.
At the side of the Canadian net there, the Soviet net, they jam away, and Beloshakin comes out of the goal to fall on top of it and hold it for a face-off. 2 Soviet goals in 1 minute and 56 seconds have put Terry Simpson's team in deep trouble.
Well, they talked about what weaknesses a very strong Canadian club may have, and it was back on defense and 2 breakaway goals. Sort of tell the story, Don. That last goal split the defense right through the middle. Look at the balance and the skill level of that Russian hockey player. He gets the job done. Great individual effort. That is a lot of talent and a sensational goal.
Well, in the game between Canada and the United States, we alluded to the fact that Canadians were concerned as to how they would play defensively. And really nothing in that game to allay the concerns of Coach Terry Simpson and Michel Parizeau.
Well, you see here, Don, the Canadians are controlling the corners here somewhat. Now, every time they've had the puck deep, they've been able to do that, but it just simply hasn't been that often that they've had the puck deep.
Good puck! Racing in from the point, and somehow Bello Shaken got a glove on him.
Well, he should look at his other hand. He might find a ham sandwich. I don't know if that's skill or luck. And any goaltender would tell you there's a lot of luck in that save, but he got it done. Selmar Odeline probably just can't believe it. Watch the glove hand, the catching hand of the goalkeeper, Bello Shaken. He's only got one chance. Wave at it, get that left hand up in the air, and he snares it out of midair. What? Unbelievable. Unbelievable how he snares it. His legs are trapped. He can't get up and across, so he just waves at it with his catching arm. What a great save. You know, if you really think about it, he had that glove up there, even if it is in desperation, and made the save. Smart play by the goalkeeper, Bello Shaken.
At one point last year, he was in something of a slump. And then this year, he went 153 consecutive minutes without allowing a goal. Those back and the Soviets bring it out. Racing down the left side is Davidoff. Davidoff tried to go around Sylvain Cote. Cote managed to get it, and he tried to play it to the other side, but it hit the side of the net. He gets it again up to Mellanby. Mellanby loses it in the center ice area to Kovalev. It's fired back into the Canadian zone, and an icing call as Cote touches the puck.
From Georgetown, the final score.
Well, we look at the experienced Russian players, Soviet players. Galchenyuk, another one of them. The experience has really come to tell a story here in the third period, Don. The Canadians have not had many real good scoring chances. Again, the Soviet Union keeping them to the outside. We tried to talk to the trainers today for the Soviet Union, and they said they didn't speak any English. And then once we showed them a couple of pins and a couple of pictures, we traded for some information. Not bad English at all, was it?
Not bad at all. Conroy from the faceoff tried to get a shot away. His stick was tied up. The puck comes to the line and is deflected out into the center ice area. Conroy for Kartner. Kartner looking for Murphy. The pass too far for him. Going back after it is Selyanin. Plays it up long for Diaz-Meekin. It's deflected out into the center ice area. We're approaching the midway point of the third period. The Soviets leading by a score of 4-1. Konstantinov shooting it into the corner. It goes around to the other side now to Roberts. Roberts dumps it down the ice, and going back after it is Selyanin. Selyanin plays it off the boards back into the Canadian zone. They almost got caught on the defensive change there. Now it's Murphy breaking down the right side. It's hooked away from him by Fedotov. He whips it around to the other side to Hyderov. He pokes it free to Seamak. Seamak fakes the shot against Odeline. Now feeds it out into the slot. They couldn't get the shot away. Fedotov gets it back to Tatarinov. His weak shot is knocked down in front and brought back by Stapleton, or Sandlak. Sandlak couldn't go anywhere. It's fed over to Viveros, and he fires it down into the Soviet zone. Sandlak in the corner fighting for it, gets it loose to Nieuwendyk. Nieuwendyk looking for someone out front. Tried to center it. It did not get through the crease to Sandlak, and it's dumped down the ice. Billington way out of his net. He makes the save, and then at the blue line plays it to the Soviet line. The puck is fired by Tatarinov deep into the Canadian zone. He was looking at that wide open net. It would not have counted, however, as a Soviet player was trapped inside the blue line. Well, the Soviets are 8 minutes and 59 seconds away from taking the gold medal from Canada in the World Junior Championship. Terry Simpson's game plan, John, I thought was well conceived. He wanted his forwards to go out, go in deep, muscle the Soviet team. He felt if he was going to win this game, the forwards would do it. However, in the third period, it seems that the Soviets are the stronger team.
But you know, what happens here, Don, is their skill of moving the puck quickly. The Canadians can't get in there and do that severe checking.
Robitaille into the slot, a shot, and Bello Shaken was way out of the net to make the save. Cote at the line managed to keep it in, but now it's brought out by the Soviets. Stapleton has it poked away at the line. Break wide pass now for Mellanby. And back is for Chuk, who takes it to the board. Stapleton digs it out for Mellanby. Back to the point. Cote with the shot right on. And that is backhanded wide by Robitaille. Robitaille trying to work out from behind the net, having difficulty there with Nikitin. Nikitin comes up with the puck. He plays it off the boards and down the ice. Racing back after it is Cote. He gets there just ahead of Kamensky and plays it off the boards to Kartner. Kartner looking for Murphy on the left side. It was too far for him, but he managed to chase after it into the corner. Murphy now back to the line, over the line, moving in, a shot saved, rebound! And Robitaille in the slot, unable to get good wood on it, and Beloshakin pounced on the loose puck, and again, some pushing in front of that Soviet goal.
John, you think that first goal in a hockey game scored by Corson, Beloshakin went down on a bad angle shot. It was a bad rebound, basically a bad goal. But I'll tell you, that Beloshakin's been hot here in the third period, made some good saves, experience starting to show. Watch how he recovers. He's going to make another save, even though he goes down a lot. That's the Tretiak style, and we mentioned he was tutored by Tretiak. He's had 123 shots in the tournament. 123 saves in 131 shots, 8 goals against. That's pretty hot goaltending. Save percentage up around .935. That's great in any league.
Well, as a goaltender, perhaps you could comment on the style of Beloshakin bouncing down to his knees, much like Tretiak.
Well, Tretiak, and maybe go back and look at the National League. People like Grant Fury used to play, still plays that way. Tony Esposito. But he's playing fairly calculated goal right now, not taking many chances, dropping at the right time, playing the percentages fairly well.
The shot from the point did not get through. The Soviets dump it out to the center ice area. It seems right now, John, that the Soviets, with a 3-goal lead, quite content simply to dump it out of their own zone when Canada applies pressure.
You're right, John. They're not taking many chances at all, trying to fire the puck up the boards, not up the middle. The draft, of course, the main dream of most of these players on all the junior teams. In Canada, the National League draft last year, 59 players were drafted from the Ontario League, 43 from the Western League. Sweden does it to West Germany. They get the shutout. Going back to the draft, 15 from the Quebec League, 20 from U.S. colleges, 48 from U.S. high schools, 30 internationally. That's down 10 from the year before, and 37 from other leagues such as Tier 2. So that's the breakdown in the 85 draft.
Well, I think every scout from a National Hockey League team is in attendance here at the Copps Coliseum for this World Junior Tournament.
Every one of them had an immense respect for the Soviet team. They knew they wouldn't fold at all.
Here's a 2-on-1 break. In across the line. And it's deflected high at the goal mouth. They jam away. Galchenyuk took that pass from Kovalev. And it deflected high, but Billington managed to keep it out. 7:07 remaining in the third period. Nikitin breaks it up at the line. Again, Kovalev coming in, letting a shot go high off the glass. It's loose behind the goal, and Viveros has it for Canada and dumps it out of the zone.
Terry Simpson has Murphy up on the line with Corson and Sandlak trying to get something going. They know Murphy's a goal scorer.
Now it's Cote playing it ahead to Conroy. Conroy, a long shot. Beloshakin out of his net to play it after making the save. Roberts bumps into the Soviet player, but it's fed over onto a left wing and brought out by Nikonov. Nikonov in across the line, falls, still controls it, flips it to the corner, and Kartner is back for Canada. 6:23 remaining in this third period. The gold medal battle. If the Soviets win, they will claim the gold. Canada will still wind up with the silver, regardless of what happens in the game on Saturday. The line, Kartner falls, manages to poke it, and the Soviets are unable to get it out as there's going to be a penalty here. Roberts stepped into the Soviet player, Seamak, and Canada will be shorthanded with 6:01 remaining in the third period. So the hopes of Canada winning a second straight gold medal certainly look bleak with only 6:01 remaining. It's a first-round draft choice in 1984 by the Calgary Flames, who plays for the Ottawa 67s, is in the penalty box.
Well, the stern coaching of Vasilyev has his team in pretty good position here. We were quite surprised the way he yelled and screamed at his players in practice this morning, but they've certainly responded. They say he wants to be liked by his players, but they don't think it's going to work out. It doesn't matter. His team is winning.
Very authoritative coach. disciplinarian, and he certainly was yelling and shouting and grabbing some of his players this morning when they made mistakes in the workout. The puck gloved ahead by the Soviet player, resulting in a whistle with 5:41 remaining in the third period.
There's been 18 minutes of penalties in this game. Canadians have 14 of the 18. The Soviets, the remaining 4. It's told a bit of a story. The Canadians having to spend a lot of time killing penalties.
And this is one time when they can ill afford to be killing off a penalty, trailing by 3 goals late in the third period.
The Soviets also have the one power play goal, that by Semak.
That was the go-ahead goal or the tying goal, I should say, in the first period. Now it's Odeline in his own zone. He plays it off the boards, kept in there by Fedotov. Now Osipov moving right in, backhand shot, and Billington makes the save. Stapleton comes up with the puck and lugs it out for Canada.
Billington made a good save. He stayed square to the puck that time, Don. Moved across with his body instead of lunging feet first. Made a real good save.
Last year, of course, in the battle between the Soviets and Canada in the World Junior Tournament in Turku, Finland, Billington shut out the Soviet Union by a score of 5-0. Here's Meekin back in his own zone. Plays it over to Tatarinov. He shoots it into Canadian territory, icing against the Soviet Union.
Well, for the Canadian players, their dream seems to be slipping away right now. Just 4:35 left. Terry Simpson had his club well prepared, but the Soviets, with that experience of 10 returning players, they almost look like they used last year's tournament to try and prepare for this tournament with all the youth they went with, Don. The Canadians were strong. But I tell you, discontentment will be on a lot of those kids' minds right now. They came here with one thing in mind, and that was a gold medal, and it's a tough time of the game right now to try and keep that concentration level there.
Carter with a blast from the face-off. Beloshakin had to make the save. Yes, 1985 was not a good year for Soviet hockey internationally, losing the World Junior Championship, the World Tournament. They lost the Izvestia. Lead pass over on the right side, and Nikonov tried to jam it right at the goal mouth. Billington stood his ground, and it came back to the line. Now it's dumped in and fired out with just 4 seconds remaining in the penalty to Gary Roberts. Puck is dumped in by the Soviets as Canada is back at full strength. Just 3:56 remaining in the hockey game. Conroy grabbed that loose puck and fired at the length of the ice. This will be icing against Canada with now 3:46 left to play. And the dream of a second straight gold for Canada at the World Junior level is rapidly disappearing. Remaining in the third, we remind you that the National and the Journal will be seen in Ontario and the rest of Eastern Canada immediately following the hockey game at its regular time, Manitoba and other Western provinces. Team Canada now trying to go to the attack, but the Soviets won't let them. They have been defending well in their own zone, and they have been dishing out some pretty good body checks themselves, while Canada administered most of the heavy blows in the first period. Now Semak in across the line, trying to get it back to the point to Nikonov. Too far for him, and Fedotov has to go back into his own zone with 3 minutes remaining. Osipov ahead to Semak. They're looking for that breakaway pass as the Canadian team is pressing.
Semak is one smart player. He puts himself into the open right up in that center ice area. And they look for him.
Hammered into the boards by Sandlock in his own zone. And he's a little groggy as he heads to that Soviet bench. He took a tremendous hit along the board. Now it's Fedotov trying to get it out, kept in by Canada. Moylan back of the nets. Stoppage in play as they fall on top of that puck with 2:27 remaining. The executive producer of our World Junior Tournament coverage is Bob Moyer. Today's game produced by Arthur Smith. our director tonight, Ron Harrison. Our isolation director, Wayne Moss. And these are some of the other people who have assisted in bringing you our live CBC television coverage of the game against the United States, this game against the Soviet, and will be on hand Saturday for the game against Czechoslovakia. Stapleton trying to spin around to get a shot away. It went wide. Now Mellanby is taken in against the boards by Konstantinov. They continue fighting for it, and finally the whistle blows. Nothing in the stoppage in play with 2:11 remaining in the game.
Then a Soviet player down as Robitaille cross-checked him in the neck from behind. And the player went down. I'm not real sure who it is. It may be Krachuk, but I'm not sure what the number was. Yeah, I think it's number 5, Don. Krachuk. You know, the Canadians' record in junior place in '77, 2 wins, 6 losses, and 1 tie. Both those wins resulted in gold medals, both by shutouts. Watch Robitaille come in from behind on number 5, Krachuk. There's the cross-check. We just missed it. As he gives it to him. Now Sandlak, boy, does he hit Osipov. Boy, does he nail him. Osipov, he saw stars after he got thumped there. He got up and he had spaghetti legs on one big body check. But the Soviets are in control. Look at Osipov there. You could see where his legs simply went out from underneath him as he was seeing stars for sure.
However, he's going to be seeing gold in about 2 minutes and 8 seconds because the Soviet Union is in total control of this hockey game, leading by a 4-1 margin. Now Laxdal cutting in on the right side, unable to carry through, and the puck is brought out into the center ice area by Galchenyuk. He winds up, toe save, the rebound, and Kovalev was unable to get a shot away. 1:43 remaining. Lead pass, too far for Laxdal. Parkner races deep into the corner, centered it, but Galchenyuk was there to pick it up. Galchenyuk for the Soviets at the blue line, lets a blast go. The puck was up on edge and it hit the glass behind goaltender Craig Billington. 1:24 remaining. The puck cleared out into the center ice area. Tatarinov is back for the Soviet Union. Very skilled Soviet defender, and he let a blast go that went high over the glass and up into the crowd here at the Cox Coliseum.
Don, we talked about many times tonight the experience of Belo Shakin. He played for the Soviet Union in the Izvestia tournament just before Christmas. Canada was represented by the Olympic team, coached by Dave King. And this man is just a youngster, 20 years old, played and represented his country in that tournament. They lost to Czechoslovakia in the final game, but for that gold medal. But still, the experience is really shown for that Soviet goalkeeper here in the third period.
Well, the Soviet Union is certainly getting 1986 off to a good start in international hockey with this gold medal win. The puck knocked down by Bieberov, way out of the net to make the save as Belo Shakin, and he pokes it away again. Here's a 3-0 break for the Soviets. Beazmikin hit the goal post. With 52 seconds remaining. The Canadian team, all 5 skaters deep in that Soviet zone, and now there's some shoving going on as Billington felt that he was high stick there by Torgayev.
Torgayev was in behind him. Billington skated out of the goal crease and controlled the puck. And I think the emotions here are getting to the Canadians. It wasn't a bad play. It was a little bump, nothing serious whatsoever. It's frustration and it's showing with the youth of junior players, and it's going to show, but that was nothing serious whatsoever.
Well, I believe Vasiliev was quoted as saying that